Hello, everybody. Welcome to BTVY TV. Man, look who I have with me. I have Sabrina Protic. We are just going to kind of hang out and talk about what she's doing to become a better version of herself. Sabrina, tell the world who you are.
Well, a cover girl, that's who I am.
Right.
I just know, Brenda, you're never too old in life to experience new things.
That's right.
And some of the things that I'm experiencing now, a lot of women are in their 20s and 30s. And these things are happening for me in my 60s.
And look how beautiful you are.
Well, thank you. It's that fountain of youth. That's what it is. Drink lots of water, everybody. But I'm just ecstatic because, I had a rough time. We've all listen. There's volumes of books on people that, were impacted by the pandemic, the hurricane that we've had, and just all kinds of life just comes at you, right, Brenda? Just gives you a gut punch. Health, and I'm a big Rocky fan. I know I'm a lady, but I love all the Rocky movies. And he says it's not when you get knocked down, it's how you get up.
And that's true because you could stay down. That's the easy way.
Yeah, they count 10, you're done. And I just wasn't going to stay down, and I'm still not. And I just love people. And I think that's why I am here talking to you. We met and we just connected. We connected, and for no personal gain either, right?
No, absolutely not. It was just a friend of a friend of a friend kind of meeting. And then that friend of a friend of a friend knew you. But, in reality, I got to give Terrence Lefton just a little bit.
Yeah, I'll give a little shout out. He's our guy, Terrence.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just loving life. And the best part about what I do, and even you too, is that we find our greatest joy in helping other people.
We do. And, there is joy in that. People say, well, how can you do that? Well, I needed that help once. I was that person that needed somebody to believe in me. I needed forgiveness. I needed friendship, and I needed that fresh take on life. And if I wouldn't have had that, I just would have put my head in the sand and did nothing.
That's right. That's right. And you did it, and you still aren't.
I'm doing my best, but you know what? I ain't made the cover of a magazine like you made.
Well, and let me explain that too. I landed that cover because I was available to help someone.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that had an idea about empowering our communities. And I said, hey, let me help you do that. And next thing you know, I was invited to be on the cover. And that is such an honor. Something I just can't even I got to pinch myself, Brenda. I have to pinch myself that that's happening. But more importantly, it's not that I'm on the cover. It's that I helped other men and women get featured in the magazine and also be on the cover. So I brought an army with me. That's what I did. I empowered other people. I didn't just.
And Janelle saw that in you. Janelle Harris has the magazine called She Exists, and then now He Exists. But she saw this greatness within you. Well, she did. I mean, and look at what all you're doing. You are serving your community. You're giving advice that is very helpful. You not only are you being of service to them, you are being a friend to them. And that says a lot. It says a lot.
It does. It does. And I did something for someone. I'm not going to name names, okay, because that's not what this is about. But a couple that wanted to come to the event, and they ran up on some really hard times financially. And I said, would you allow me the honors of purchasing your tickets?
Aww.
And I think you talk about a grown man getting ready to cry. Mm-hmm. And I said, look, don't fight this. Maybe this is something that was meant to happen. I don't know. Why did I say it? But let me do this for you. And that's what it's all about. So, Brenda, every time I talk to somebody, or I do a workshop with someone, or I speak on financial planning, that doesn't mean money's coming in my pocket.
No, it doesn't. And see, that is what people think. Everybody has the wrong ideas of why people get to know each other. Yes, we like to do business there. I mean, who doesn't? But the reality is, without the friendships and the relationships that you have, that business means nothing. Absolutely nothing.
And it's those friendships. Mm-hmm. See, a loyal customer is loyal because of the relationship. That's right. Yes, you provide a good service. but you can get a great cup of coffee anywhere, like Starbucks. Starbucks says they're in a people business. They're not in the coffee business. I listened to him. He said he told his employees, he says, look, we're not in the coffee business. We're in the people business. And that's, if you own a business, you got to identify it's not your product. It's the people that you serve.
That's right.
And how you manage those relationships. That will determine if people will continue to do business with you.
It is so true. And even more important, it determines if they're going to just continue to associate with you.
Ooh, yes. So let's talk about that. That's true. How do they feel if they're in a photo next to you? Do they feel empowered, or do they not want to be seen with you?
Yeah. And when you sometimes agree to do things with other people, you might not know who's going to be on that flyer or at that event or what's going to be happening. So how you act, how you respond in those relationships is key. It really is.
It really is key. So we're in the people business. You and I, we build relationships, and it's not about money. Now let's qualify money for a second. We know we need it. We need it to survive. It's really, yeah, it's a bartering. It's a bartering exchange. You give me XYZ and I'll give you this. So we do need that. But what we do shouldn't be out of greed.
Right.
And we should always have the person's best interest at hand. So I found a word. I was trying to look for a word about a month ago to describe what I do. And I found a word I'd never heard of. Are you ready for this word? You might have heard of it.
I'm ready for it.
I didn't even know I was going to say it. So let me make sure I got it pronounced. Altruistic.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Always trying to do good for the better of the community, for the better of whatever it is that you're working towards.
Look at Brenda knew it. I did not know that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it. So I says, I'm going to name my business Altruistic Financial. And I went to do that. Guess what? So many people are using that word.
Yeah.
There's so many altruistic financial, altruistic credit, altruistic everything. So people got that figured out. So I said, well, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon.
It's a great definition for how you should do. It's not even a definition. It is the best way to practice how you do business.
It's right. So I said, I don't have to have that name on my business. I just have to do it.
I don't have to post about just doing it just before we got on, because you can talk about it.
Yeah.
You can dream about it. But if you don't do it, what's the point?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. So to me, it's all about walking the talk. Walk the talk. And I have to say, I'm very proud. And I'm going to say proud because I want to share something with you I have not shared with anybody. Okay. You're going to be the first to hear this. Seriously. Well, I have not shared this with anybody. So hold on. Well, I'm good at practicing what I preach. And as for those of you who don't know, I'm a financial coach, licensed financial coach. And I talk to people about growing their assets, about understanding the different buckets of their financial portfolio. And that financial portfolio is the key. So, we can have active income, we can have passive income, and then we have portfolio income. And the active is what we do every day. We're working, we're grinding, we're working and grinding. Now, everybody's done active income at some point in their life. Farmers, corporate execs at one point, they were active in their businesses. That's active, that's grinding. And I have to preface what I'm going to say with this. Passive income is when you don't have to do that much. You establish it one time. Maybe you had to do a little active to get it started, but then it just rolls through the door. Like enter this code if you like this swimsuit, and people are putting that code in all day long, and you're getting a paycheck for it, right? Some companies send you money because it's a referral kind of process. Real estate is passive income because it's money. You aren't doing anything. Somebody is renting your house or your apartments or whatever. So you get that check. So that's passive. Everybody needs those buckets. Well, the third bucket, which I'm going to make my announcement, is your portfolio income. Mm-hmm. And inside that bucket is your estate. It's everything about you financially. It's your net worth. That's everything. Stocks, bonds, the property that you own, the house you live in, your retirement plans, your life insurance, because your life insurance has a dollar value on your head.
Sure does.
Somebody's going to get something if you die. There's a death benefit there. Now there's living benefits, which means that if you're alive, you can capture some of those benefits depending on the policy that you have, but it's in your portfolio income. So let's talk about that for a minute, because I'm getting ready to share something with everybody. So again, your portfolio income is your savings account, your retirement accounts, your mutual funds, all your growth accounts, anything that's growth where you're growing money, your income accounts, that's anything that brings income into your household. You could have some annuities in there, any IRAs, whether they're Roth or traditional, any of that is inside that portfolio income. Now, there's no debt in there.
Right, just assets.
Just assets. So I'm really big on helping people become millionaires. Start thinking to myself, well, I got to walk the talk. Because how can you teach somebody to do something you're not doing? So I ran some numbers last night, and my net worth is $1 million.
Well, congratulations, you made it. So now you're teaching people to do what you've done yourself.
That's right. Now, does that mean I have $1 million in the bank? Let's qualify this. No. What that means is, at the end of the day, I've paid everybody that I owe. And these are my remaining assets inside my portfolio income. And I hit it.
Yeah, and that's good. And that means unencumbered.
Unencumbered. Yes. I'm living the positive. Now, those aren't bragging rights. What that means is I am walking the talk.
That's right.
2 years ago, I wasn't.
See how things can change, and in a short time.
A short period of time. So now I'm in a position to educate people on what that means and how they can get there.
Absolutely. And because you walk that walk, you can teach them right along the side of it and walk it with them.
I can walk it with them. And it took me a long time to get there because, first of all, I knew nothing at first. Nobody in my family ever talked about net worth.
Right.
Now, you came from an accounting background, so you trumped me on that. But my mom and dad didn't teach us about our net worth. They taught us to get a good job, get a job that paid good money. And I did exactly what Mama said.
Well, that's what we did.
Mama said, get a good job with benefits. I got a good job with benefits. I had a career job because I did what Mama said, because that's what Mama knew. But she didn't know about net worth. And they didn't talk about millions. I mean, they raised us with balance.
That's right.
And love.
That's right.
And that's what I do. But on the other side of it, man, if you've worked 30, 40 years, you should have something.
You should have something to show for it. That's right.
Something to show for it. Sadly enough, Brenda, too many people are working 30 and 40 years and they still owe people.
Yep. They owe people, and they also owe their lives to the labor. If they stop the labor, they can't pay. And if they can't pay, they're going to lose everything that they have. Yes.
And haven't you seen that with your background? You've seen that, right?
In my own life. I've lived it. I've lived doing what people thought I should do with my life. And, go buy this building, go buy that house. You should need to have that car because you need to look the part. And the reality is nobody else is going to do it but you, and nobody's going to do it for you. So you need to take steps that work for you at the pace that you can keep up with.
Isn't that true? That, words of wisdom there. And don't try to have the life somebody else has.
No.
So I have a little economy car. I don't have a fancy car. I'm not riding in the ride. They call it your ride or your whip, whatever these people say, your whip. I don't know what's a whip, but that's what these young people, what kind of whip you got? A what? Are you talking about horses?
That? Yeah.
Are you talking about horses or something? Oh, well, I got my whip. But so, I don't live a fancy life. Like my house, I raised my kids in this house. I haven't upscaled. We're very humble,
Mhm.
but I got it together. I got it together financially. I didn't have it together 2.5, 3 years ago.
And see how things can change in a short time, but you probably had a plan.
Well, I did. Well, my biggest plan. Well, I'm going to tell you. Let's get all the cards on the table. Okay, I'm very honest. It was a devastating blow to me that I lost my career job.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you why I'm bringing that up, because I had thought they were going to take care of me once I stopped working there. I mean, after all, 41 years in a corporate gig. I mean, something had to be at the end of that rainbow.
You would think, and more than just a watch.
I didn't even get to watch. So, but let me just be honest. I did get a few gifts along the way, milestones, 20, 30 years. I got those things. But man, I got a reality check when, things happen back. We're not even going to talk about what happened 2 years ago, but they downsized. That was the reality check for me, that I was not ready financially to take care of myself, because I put that in the hands of my employer. Well, the good side about this, I was fortunate enough to contribute to my 401k. Lesson number one to everybody. If you are working, take advantage of your 401k, especially if they're doing matching.
Yes.
Because here's how that goes. I put 3% in, and they put 3% in.
Free money.
Free money. Well, don't you know, the first 8 years I worked for my company, I didn't contribute to my 401k because I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was. I really didn't. Shame on me. Nobody coached me and educated me. I missed out on about 8 years of contributing. But I still, once I did, I went all in. So what I want to say is, I didn't do anything foolish. When I got my money, I did wise things by it. And so that's how I was able to get to where I am and do some of the, and I did some smart growth and strategy moves, which also set me up to be where I am now and to get my portfolio where it is right now.
Isn't that amazing?
And that's what I teach. Yep, that's what I teach. I do know some people that went through the same thing I did. They lost jobs, had 401k, and they're broke right now. They lived out of their 401k and they felt like they had to, but I didn't do that. What I did, I went to work right away. I went and got a license. I said, oh, you know what? I don't think I got a job. I don't think I have a job. I don't know. They furloughed me. I'm not going to wait around on that. Let me get a license in something. I didn't want to go work for somebody for a couple of reasons. What if they wanted to bring me back? I don't want to go.
Right.
Do I want to go back?
That
so I went and got
that you might go back and get that job.
Yeah, I just didn't know. So let me get a license so I can put food on my own table. So that's what I did. And I didn't have to rely on that 401k. So that's another thing I want to put out there is, be smart about a bucket of money that's put in front of you. So I'm saying that now I've talked to people that they had their 401k and they lived out of it and it's all gone.
Yeah.
And they took the tax hit on it.
They don't understand the complications that can arise from that because they're looking right now. They're not looking into the future.
Not looking at the future. And I just said, no, I'm not going to make those mistakes. And
exactly. And sometimes they're also not willing to work for it. That's one thing I've always done is I have always been a hard worker. No matter what industry I've been in, I was always willing to work.
And that's what I've done.
Sit back and expect it to happen. Has that happened for some people? Yes, it has. But does it happen for most of it? No. Most of us know it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And I want to say, you have to pretend that money doesn't exist. It's just too convenient. Now, think about it. Your employer had it for those years that you worked and you didn't pay any attention. So now that you get it, you're looking at it. It's burning a hole in your pocket.
Right.
And you spend it.
Yep. And then what I need this, I need that on stuff you didn't have it before. Why do you need it now?
Yeah. I did not change my lifestyle. I'm telling you, I probably live even more conservative. And I like it. My husband and I, we're like this. If we can just go eat a meal when we want to, we're happy.
And I enjoy sitting at the dinner table with my family. and having our dinners. It is a blessing. And we take advantage of that. We forget about that. We forget about what takes place at home, because our home is our core, is our backbone, is our foundation. And I tell people I get to have dinner with my parents and my husband every night for dinner.
See, that's, and you can't buy that. You really can't buy it. The value and quality of time. So yeah, being in a financial space. And so that also landed me on the cover of She Exists magazine. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yes, please, because that just the whole thing that Janelle is doing, she had the vision and she took that step to make it happen. And then the people that she's bringing together to put in these stories that she's telling are truly amazing. And they are helping people get the stuff that they need so they can say, I can do that. I can do that.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
That's wonderful. She's giving a hand up in the communities, and she's giving all of us an opportunity. You know, we're banding together, we're working together. Again, the name of the magazine is She Exists, and my issue will be coming out end of October. I can't wait to get my hands on that magazine. Okay, just in case, I told Janelle, I don't care how many you sell, keep a dozen for me.
That's right.
I'm buying 12. I'm buying 12. I need one for mama. My mama's going to be proud. One for my mom, my sister, my brother, myself. Because I don't know if I'll ever go back down this road again, but I'm buying a dozen magazines.
You should. You should.
Yeah, I
be
should.
Ecstatic. You have earned that position.
I've earned it. And what makes me happy is that there are people in that magazine that I offered them an opportunity to be featured. I'm going to mention Jackie Kalin. She is the mother of boxing, and the phenomenal movie. I had no idea our paths would cross. I actually watched her movie many years ago where she helped this. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't, but I've heard it's good. Now I'm going to have to go watch it. But you know,
listen, I'm probably going to watch it again tonight.
Yes,
It's
the fact that she's got quality people in this magazine.
Quality people.
Yes, and true stories of what they've went through, what they've triumphed over.
Well, yes, she will be in the magazine. We've got Brett Masters. He is a PEO executive with Key HR. That's KEYHR. And that's really big because that assists businesses. And Brett wouldn't have had an opportunity to get something like that. So that's great, you know, to have a feature. So, you know, we're empowering the community. I want to talk about my flip cover girl.
Yeah.
Carol Bettinger.
Yeah, and we're interviewing her next.
You talk about stunning cover. She looks like Bridget Nielsen, doesn't she, from Rocky?
She does, man, and she's got a great story too.
Oh my goodness, she's a luxury realtor for Tampa Bay, and she's all about helping the community. So I'm ecstatic. I had a relationship with her, friends and networking, and I just thought, hey, she would be powerful to represent our community. I'm really happy to have her there. We had a great photographer, Tracy Kraushorn, and there'll be a little article in there about her. Because, you know, oftentimes you read these bylines, photography by, but you never see them.
No, right. You just know the name.
You just know the name.
And put the face with it.
And look what Janelle is doing.
Yes. She's giving credit where credit's due, because let me tell you, without that picture, nobody's going to know. What's the point of having a cover?
What's the point?
Right.
Exactly. And my dear friend, Michelle Maras, that's M-R-A-S, Michelle Maras, she's in Paris right now. Paris. I can't believe it. And she's co-authored a book called Hold My Crown. And she is just a phenomenal person. If you don't know her, look her up. She's great.
Yeah, I do know her. And I was almost this close to meeting with her when we were both in Atlanta, and we just couldn't get the timing right.
Oh, I didn't know you knew her.
Well, we met through another friend of ours, which is also one of our B2BY speakers, Charles Prenzen. She was at the Lauren Michael Harris's.
Oh, she was there. I didn't know that.
The Power of We Symposium. So yes. See how networking works. And I've talked to her several times, and we'll probably have her come speak at one of the events. And, you know, just having relationships with people.
It's relationships. It's relationships.
That is an asset.
That's an asset. So, you know, people like that. And then one of my favorite, see now, I've listed men and women So we have another guy, Richard Boisvert. He's with Strategic Partners in Tampa Bay. And this guy is kind of semi-retired, but he started a free networking organization. Did you hear me?
He wants to charge. You said
free. You see how that empowers communities? He's not in it for the money.
No, he's in it for the relationships.
The relationships and to help people grow and be seen in the community. And he's heading up Hurricane Ivan relief efforts right now through Strategic Partners. And I'm very honored that, to be participating in that. So you see what we're doing. It's not celebrity status.
It's not, it's everyday status. Everyday people, that's kind of what B2BY is about. It's about everyday people doing extraordinary things to make a difference. Because you know what, let's face it, the celebrities, and some are making a huge difference. I'm not saying that, but the 99% of the ones, they want that fame, they want that fortune, and that's what they went after. But are they turning around and giving it back? The everyday people are what make this world go round. You're right. As a matter of fact, sad to say, if you wanted to feature any of them or interview them, they want you to pay them. They want you to pay them. Yeah. We were doing something and I won't say the name, and the celebrity really wanted in. He thought it was a great cause. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's going to come. He wanted 15 grand plus travel, plus hotel, plus it was going to end up being like $20,000 to come to the event that we won't even ever see that kind of money at, Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that because we've tried to reach out to a couple celebrities, and they get excited about the opportunity, but they want you to pay them. And we just don't have pockets like that. And even, just to empower the community, but you're gonna, pay for this and pay for that. And we're small potatoes like that. We want to help the little guy get out there, and we just don't. And not everything should have a price tag. Yeah. Everything should have a price tag. Yeah, I just don't understand. I belong to a couple of networking groups here in Kansas City, and some of them have a monthly fee. But the ones that I have found to be the best for me, the most beneficial, the ones that I'm actually learning from, making great connections with, building relationships, are the ones that are for free. They are there because they enjoy the company of the others. They're not there because they're trying to get their money's worth. Exactly. And as a financial coach, I have to tell you, I actually coach on accounting for your money and being good stewards of your money. And think about those memberships. Are you getting a return on investment? Exactly. Because you could be putting that money somewhere where it's growing for you. That's right. And a lot of times they'll not only want that monthly membership, they will want an upfront fee. And then the monthly, and then they keep you because you don't want to lose that upfront fee. So, you're $80 some a month or $20. And before you know it, you are penny nickel dimed into hundreds of dollars just to go network. And are you getting that much a month back in business? See, you're speaking my language. I mean, some of the ones that I've really been interested in, they want $500 and $600 up front, and then $150 a month. Yes. I'm thinking that's thousands of dollars that I could be growing somewhere and multiplying my money, but just to have, and maybe creating another stream of income. And I don't want to down that, but if you're going to charge a fee, make it reasonable and realistic. Because now that's just, I'm like, look at all that money. It is. Well, let me tell you, we had a thing here when I was in the janitorial industry. I was a contractor. So we worked for all these buildings that we would clean for, so they said, you got to go and be involved in BOMA. So the first year I was all excited about being in BOMA, which stood for Building Owners and Managers Association. So you're supposed to be sitting there with all these building owners, right, to get hired to go clean their building. Well, let's see, it was like $800 a year. Then you had to buy your lunch at $35 a pop. Plus, if you had your salesperson or somebody in your organization go, you had to pay a fee for them and then buy their lunch. So then when you get there, guess who you're sitting with? Other janitors. So you're not even sitting with the building owner. Everybody is there trying to get that business. So when my new salespeople would come in, 5 years later, I really want to be part of BOMA. I was like, well, tell me why. And then when they're telling me why, I have to remind them I've been there, done that. And I would much rather take that $1,000, $1,500 and put it back into people's salaries or back into benefits or back into new equipment, whatever. Because, $1,500 would have bought a new buffer. That's a lot. It would have made me $1,500 a month. So, or that could be $1,500 towards you having $1 million net worth. That's right. And you know what? That $1,500 sure would pay a lot of, here's my card. I clean for a living, can I come bid your building? That $1,500 would have put a lot of gas in the tank to go knock on doors.
A lot of gas. That's food money. That's existence money. That's electric bill. That's water bill.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It is.
So
and people don't understand that.
They don't understand it. I talk about that. So I don't know if you know, but I have a new book coming out. Have I told you about that?
I didn't. I don't. Tell me about it.
I'm excited. So the name of my book is called Hindsight to Insight: Money Between Family and Friends. Ooh.
That's a good one. Yes.
Money Between Family and Friends. The book will go on pre-sale, in December. And then, of course, somewhere January, February, we'll have the hard book launch. But that is a compilation. Is it 15 chapters? I've been working on it I know. It's
do I get to put you on the spot?
Go ahead.
Well, we have our amazing BTBY conference coming up in February. I think you need to maybe come speak and maybe do a book launch there.
Wasn't I thinking about coming to that anyway? I think we kind of talked about that.
So you need to come speak and share the story that you just shared about everyday people, that they can be a millionaire.
I would love to do that. And let me tell you, that book is a book I hope everybody buys and gives it to family members and friends that you've ever loaned money to, borrowed money from, owe somebody, they owe you, you got a bad deal on something, or you did well on something. If you're afraid of money or you love money, if you don't have your wealth plan together, we talk about that, how to establish a wealth plan, the components, who needs to know and who needs to talk about money? Who needs to talk about money?
Everybody needs to talk about money somewhere, somehow, some way.
Guess what? I was just talking to someone, a young person, and this young person, I'm gonna say it's a male, has a girlfriend. And they've been going steady for a while. Maybe even they're gonna have a relationship or get married one day, but they're afraid to talk about money. I said, well, you need to, because you need to know what she brings to the table. She needs to know what you bring to the table, not only income, but debt. But debt. We cannot be afraid to have these conversations. All too often, people yoke their lives together with someone. They know nothing about them financially. And then it's the worst nightmare ever. Maybe that person can't manage money. Maybe they brought a lot of debt. Maybe they're turning a household upside down now financially because of their views on money. And it can even lead to divorce. Have that conversation beforehand. And also prenups. We talk about that. We talk about wills. We just kind of talk about everything in that book. So.
And it's all important. Everything is important. People don't understand that when somebody passes, the nightmare that gets left behind for somebody if they don't have their stuff in order. So I recommend that you get that will, that you get that trust, and it's really not that expensive to do.
It's not.
And have
it really isn't. Out. People don't understand what a trust is. You do, right, Brenda?
I do, because I have one.
All right, just in a word or two, tell them how it protects them.
Well, it protects the people that you're leaving behind. So it protects the fights, it protects the money, it protects the assets, it protects people from coming in and taking it. So like in a marriage, if something happens to the wife, the husband, it automatically, he has control over if you set it up that way. So it doesn't go into probate. There's nobody coming in trying to take it. Everything just continues as it was based on the terms and agreement of that trust. So you can put your property in that trust, you can put your house in your trust, you can put your cars in that trust, you can put your businesses in that trust, and it's all there for you, just as if that person was still there.
You heard it from Brenda. I know nightmares. I know a friend of mine, her father died, and he had remarried. And before she could get to see him after he had passed away, they dug up some will. They don't even know if the thing was legit.
Right.
And before you know it, they had got all his assets, everything. If they had a trust, that wouldn't have happened.
That's right.
She didn't get a penny. Who even knows where that came from? He didn't have a trust.
Yeah, it's protecting the loved ones that you want your stuff to go to. Not even your stuff. Sometimes it's not even about the stuff. It's about the lifelong thing that's been in your family, that
Heirlooms,
sentimental value, heirlooms and stuff that really doesn't have a price tag, because what might be junk to somebody else means the world to you. And if you don't have your stuff locked down, that stuff can all be sold right out from under you. Or given to somebody else.
Brenda, you're singing my tune here. It's so valuable. There's just so many things you need to know. So that's why I'm here. I'm Sabrina Protic. I'm a financial coach, cover girl of She Exists magazine, got a financial book coming out. I'm supporting this woman, Brenda Ringwood. She sings my tune on being the best you can be and helping other people get there.
Absolutely. And it's a journey. It's a journey, and it's a journey daily, because you're never going to be there. You're trying to get there. So every day that you are taking that step to get to there, you're becoming a better person. So Sabrina, I thank you so much for this conversation. And everybody go check out sheexists.org. All the information will be there where you can get these magazines. And then Sabrina, give us your website.
My website is sabrinaprotic.com. That's SABRINA. Protic, PROTIC, that's P as in Paul, protic.com. And I'd love to have you visit my website and just kind of see what I do. Very simple, very easy. And my financial coaching doesn't cost you a penny. I love to do financial reviews, takes about 20 minutes. We do it on Zoom, or we can do in person. A lot of people just like that virtual. They love it because it doesn't feel invasive.
Right.
And I sit there and we just talk about a few things, and that's it. You haven't paid me a dime, but I have made you think about some things. And the last thing I want to say, Brenda, is the first question I ask people is, what is your number? I'm the what's your number lady. What is your number? And they look at me and they, what do you mean? I says, well, what does that mean to you when I ask you that? I will tell you, men and women answer it differently. But by the time I finish that little 20-minute review, they will know their number.
Oh, that's wonderful. I was just talking to Dean Storr. He does a little bit of financial coaching, and he's one of the B2Y speakers. And he was just telling me that in order to know your number, you also have to know what you want. And if you don't know what you want, then how are you ever going to get that in life? So the first step is to decide what it is that you want.
That is so true, because you don't know where you're going.
Right. That's right.
Beautifully said.
Well, thank you, Sabrina. So remember, guys out there, always change your mindset, change your actions, and I guarantee it will change your life. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm just so ecstatic. I can't wait for this magazine and just to grow our relationship. So thank you again, Sabrina.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.